Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to the videos of the paid requests. It's time for Edward. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for one episode of South Park, Season 20, Episode 7. And this is the season when, again, it's part of their continuity where you had the member berries, and there was the Trump versus Hillary Clinton, or in this case, Hillary Clinton versus Mr. Garrison, and you could tell that they thought Trump would lose. They're like, hey, it's getting close. This is stupid for you guys to choose it, but I think eventually they did assume that Hillary Clinton would win. And this is the first episode after they realized they screwed up. And you could tell that they're trying to change course. And I think that definitely affected the story. Because Trump, aka Garrison, wins. I think that screwed the creators, Trey Parker, Matt Stone's, what the plan was for the rest of the season. Randy, who's for the most part seems to be the voice of the creators, goes, "This is not how it's supposed to happen." And I'm sure throughout the rest of the season they go a bit more into Mr. Garrison, what he does during that administration, but here's more of they still go through what their plan was in a way, but it makes a lot less sense. So Hillary Clinton still meets with Gerald, the guy who's this big troll, in order to deal with this, to go undercover in Denmark, undercover as an ambassador. But then at the same time, it's like, well, why is Hillary Clinton caring about this? Since she lost, I guess, oh, well, they cheated, so we're going to find out. I'm like, you can find out on your own because you got higher ups to do this. And then Bill Clinton is in there. It's like, well, I was going to be the first gentleman, but now I'm not. I'm like, no, you're not. I'm sure that was what they wanted. It's like, the first lady. You have the president, the first lady. Well, if a lady won, then he'd be the first man or first gentleman, and that'd be Bill Clinton. So I guess they're going to play a lot more jokes with that, but no, instead Bill Clinton's just trying to get Stan and Wendy together. Just you kind of sitting there going, why? Does Bill Clinton care that Stan and Wendy? It's something about, well, the boys and the girls need to care for each other at the end, but it just feels as if he's just thrown in there just because. I think Kyle's dad, Gerald, is sent to Hillary Clinton, and then she's going to have him go undercover in Denmark. The member berries, now they can infect people by you just puke on their face and then you're infected. You think like this would have been something that was done a lot earlier before if they could just do it that easily? Because then Mr. Garrison goes, yeah, the new Star Wars was great. And Randy's like, no, it wasn't. And then he gets puked on. And the member bears that gets on his face. It's like, oh yeah, you're right. And then later on, Randy pukes on his wife and pukes on his daughter. Again, I guess that just seemed to come out of the blue. That you just puked on someone and then all of a sudden they're controlled. I don't think that was the original plan. Something else was going to... I don't know what that would have been. But considering they never thought of that before, that was never brought up before, it feels like a last minute, yeah, sure, yeah, they just puked on each other and they're controlled. Why not? Just why not? And I don't care about the Gerald character. I don't care about Kyle's dad. Him making the focus, such a big focus of this season, I thought was a big mistake. Just who gives a rat's ass about Kyle's dad, Gerald? If the character died, would anyone care? If the character went into space, got punched in the face, got tasered, got befuddled and bamboozled in prison. No one would give a crap. So him being the big focus. I mean, if it was like Butters or Kenny or one of the kids, like that would make a bit more. I think the viewer, I guess I'll speak for myself. As a viewer, I would care a bit more about the proceedings, because like, I don't care what happens to Gerald. And this whole troll thing in Denmark, that they're anti-troll thing, because you know it's not going to work. You know, well, it's South Park, so you don't know for sure. But I don't care about your espionage shenanigans. And then by the end of the episode, he realizes he's been tricked and he's locked up with all the other trolls. And there's bombs in these suitcases. I guess you wait till the next episode to find out what happened. Randy puked on his wife and kid, and they're now control. So now they all think the new Star Wars is good. I do like the trashy of The Force Awakens. I do like that. Probably the only other thing I liked was Butters, the way he was utilized, where he's mocking Cartman. Now get out of my house, you get the fuck out of my house. It was cool to see Butters taught that way to Cartman, considering all the times Cartman would taught that way to Butters. Nice to see how things have changed. Or when Stan and Wendy are trying to do their date, and Butters is out there pressing his wiener to the window. But I like the character Butters. That's why. Tenny must have disappeared. Tenny must be incognito. It's so weird that, he is one of the main characters and he's not even in the background. He's not even in the background. Why? I don't know. He's like nowhere in the background. It's like he just disappeared. No explanation. And like I said, the whole election stuff, I could care the speck of an ant's anus about any of that. If I never hear about an election of any sort of anything ever again, it'd be a day too soon. But again, the election stuff, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, how dare they vote this guy, and this is how, I mean, no, I don't like Trump either. I don't like the other side either. I don't like both sides. But I mean, looking back, just everybody made those jokes. And since everybody made those jokes, it just got tiresome. You just got tired of hearing it. And again, other than Butters and some of the few things he did, I didn't get much enjoyment out of this episode. Like I said, you could tell that things were changed at the last minute. They're just pulling stuff out of their ass. I don't care about the Gerald character. They did Rickroll, so you did a bit of they're gonna give you up, they're gonna let you down. Probably that's the Butters and Rickrolled. That's the only two things I've already got a smirk out of. And by the end of it, Bill Clinton's warning about Hillary Clinton, which I'm sure if she was president, this would have been more of a prevalent plot point, but the fact that she's not kind of hurts whatever they're trying to go for. Cartman, the girlfriend, I guess they're going to try to go to Mars. That's the intention, supposedly, at the end of the episode. They're going to the space. Not. I forgot if it's like Space something, Space X or something. And then Gerald's been tricked, and him and the guy. I'm like, good, blow him up. No one's going to miss them. I don't think there's a single person that would go, oh, please don't kill Gerald. I'm going to miss him. No one would care. I think this is what happens when you assume stuff, and what do they say about assuming? Ass is in it, because you make an ass out of yourself. And you know what? I remember thinking, continuity would be kind of cool to see on South Park, and now I regret saying that. I said this before. If I say continuity, it means, okay, Kenny, the bit with him, he can't die, and he's kind of depressed about this. Like, have that be a continuing factor. Okay. Maybe some other stuff. Okay, Butters has his girlfriend in one episode, and then earlier this season we see that he was still in connection with her on the computer until this whole predicament happened. Okay, that continuity I could deal with. That's what I mean by continuity. But this whole thing, if you don't have a story that, in my opinion, is that intriguing, then you just have this lethargic feeling that, okay, we're going to keep going along with Gerald being the big troll. I already forgot what the hell his troll name was, which is, I know, stupid because they said it like 30 times throughout this season. So yeah, I could say that while I did not mind a couple of the early episodes, this is, I don't know what the consensus is of season 20. I would say this is becoming one of the weaker seasons of the show for me personally. One of the weaker seasons. So, because these one-offs, you realize, well, they could do anything they want, and then next time they just go back to normal, and you gain stuff, you lose stuff. The stuff you lose is, again, any kind of building of a character, like Cartman. The stuff with Cartman and his new girlfriend, I like that aspect. That aspect I've liked about it. Butters, like trying to gain a little bit more momentum with the boys and continue that. I like that aspect of it. So there's certain aspects I like, but the major stories, the election and the Denmark trolling thing, really aren't that funny or that exciting to me. Just the election, I never want to hear about it again. And I think using Gerald, I guess they used him because he's an expendable character in a way. Maybe that's why. But again, did people really go, please, can we get more of Gerald, Kyle's dad? Can we get more screen time for him? A guy that has barely been anything for 20 seasons. I mean, barely anything. I guess. But yeah, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.